Hello and welcome back to the channel, you lovely people. Today we're going to be talking about Resident Evil Village, otherwise known as Resident Evil 8. And sadly, this game is going to be censored in Japan. We know Japan is very serious when it comes to censorship regarding certain things, and this is what we got regarding Resident Evil Village. In keeping with rules set by the National Ratings Board, Resident Evil Village won't have any of these in Japan, and it will be less bloody. That's according to a statement on Capcom's support page, which was neatly translated and summarised by this tweet. Capcom's own announcement, very roughly translated by Google, confirms that 2 versions of Resident Evil Village will release in Japan. This isn't uncommon. The CRZ version cannot be purchased by anyone under the age of 18 and is more explicit, while the Zero D version cannot be purchased by under 17s and will feature less graphic this. But both will lack these, and both will lack unspecified scenes that will appear elsewhere in the world. Well, just with that, that's kind of sucky because between the Z and the D versions over in Japan, it's 1 year. That is literally just terrible. It's like, but I'm pretty sure 17-year-olds have seen a lot worse than what the ratings board has. Anyway, it does carry on. Still, in the words of Capcom, there will be basically no difference in the game content. It'll just lack footage of heads being removed, which some of us might prefer anyway. Who is this person? Resident Evil needs the violence, it needs the gore. That is what a Resident Evil game is all about. The statement is specific to the PS4 version, but it's just as likely to apply to the PC version, where extremely easy workarounds exist if you live in Japan and happen to want these in your game. CERO is quite strict about this of violence. Recent examples of lowered gore in Japanese releases include The Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, among others. Whatever the case, whether a bloody or not so bloody, the Resident Evil Village release date is May the 7th. Which is kinda cool. I can't wait for this game, to be honest with you, and it is the only reason I will be trying to get my hands on a PS5. And going by what we're going to talk about now as well, it seems that Resident Evil Village is shockingly small in-game file size. So this is what we got from notebookcheck.net. This is on other actual websites as well. 35 gig for a 9th gen game. Microsoft Store reveals Resident Evil 8's Village is surprisingly a small file. A recent update to Resident Evil Village listing on the Microsoft Store indicates that Capcom's upcoming game will have a small file size, especially considering that it's a 9th gen console exclusive. No, it's not, because it is on the PS4 as well. The game is said to come in at just under 35 gig, with Verse multiplayer bundled in and adding an extra 15 gig. An update Microsoft Store listed and indicated that Resident Evil Village is set to have a surprisingly moderate storage requirements. According to the store listing, Resident Evil Village and the bundle Resident Evil Verse multiplayer will come in roughly under 50 gig. Resident Evil Village alone takes up just 35 gig of space. Meanwhile, the PS5 version of the game seems to clock in at even smaller 27 gig. This makes Resident Evil Village a surprisingly compact title, even by 8th generation standards, let alone 9th. To put into perspective, Bloober Team's The Medium, a limited fixed camera angle horror title, requires 55 gig of storage space. Expansive 8th gen world, open world games like Red Dead 2 take up far more space. Well, Call of Duty Cold War is at this moment in time 121 gig. While if you look at Cold War on the Xbox, I believe it's roughly 100 gig. And even if you want to go back to Black Ops 4, which is just a staggering 196 gig. Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2 and 3, both remakes, they all clock in under 30 gig, which is kind of surprising as well. So, to be honest with you, with those games coming in under 30 GB, it was going to be the same for Resident Evil 8. Obviously, the new SSD storage on the current consoles, they're going to do a lot better with spacing and a lot better at speeds. We can only hope that the game is as good as Resident Evil 7, which, to be honest with you, going by what we're looking at here, it's going to be a doozy. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see each and every one of you soon.